Hi everyone, this is Courtney, your Lexis research attorney. Just wanted to take a couple minutes to highlight some of the criminal law resources that are available on Lexis. So the first I want to make sure you're aware of were the briefs, pleadings, and motions. So you can search through for your crime or whatever your issue is, and you can search through all of the briefs, pleadings, and motions that have already been filed in your court and then specifically in your jurisdiction on this issue to look at their research, to look at their arguments. So say you were researching or drafting an issue on chain of custody. You can go ahead and you can run that search. In categories, you can either pre-search filter or run your search and then filter, but you're looking for briefs, pleadings, and motions. And then if you wanted to, you could also drill down by your jurisdiction from here. I'm going to show you just how to do it on the outset. Does not matter, your results will always be the same. But now we have chain of custody, briefs, pleadings, and motions. And as I mentioned, you can file in on court. So if I wanted Idaho, go ahead and scroll down. And if there were any different court options, you can also open up the Idaho box and it'll show you those specific court options as well. And so now we have the 44 chain of custody. If we should need to, there might be some issues where you're searching for criminal and it actually has some civil crossover and you want to make sure you're only getting the criminal cases. Could go into practice area or topic and drill down then on criminal law and procedure. And then what I wanted to show you, here we have our briefs, pleadings, and motions. So if we opened up any one of these, on the Lexis screen, it's going to look like any other content. So you can link out to any primary authority that it might be linked to. You can search within, jump to where your terms are mentioned. But over on the right, under about this document, you're going to see original source image. If you open that up, this is going to be the document as it was drafted and filed with the court. So now this is from 2010. So you want to be mindful of any changes of court rules. Just keep an eye on the date of the document. But you can see exactly what it's supposed to look like, how it's formatted, somebody is tabbing and all caps, all of that kind of stuff is all new. When you're in law school, you're not doing a bunch of drafting. And so you can check out one of these sample pleadings that has already been filed, and then remember to pop open that original source image. What I usually do when I'm looking at briefs, I will also sort over on the right by date, newest to oldest, just to make sure, again, that I'm not getting anything super old. It'll just push the most recent stuff up to the top. Doesn't mean the old stuff's bad. I just want to make sure that I'm looking at something that is complying with the most recent court rules. Another thing I wanted to show you, just a couple, and I'll include a link to these. Let's go ahead and put it on top of the video, to two key secondary sources that I think are super helpful. They're just black letter law, tell you how it is. A through E, this is what you need to do to prove this. And so the first one is criminal defense techniques, but I would argue that it would be helpful even if it was for the prosecution, and so I'll show you why. So you type in criminal defense, it's going to be suggested from the dropdown. And then what comes up, we have a table of contents, as you might be familiar with, so you can drill down on these particular chapters. You can also search up here across all of the different chapters. But one thing that's particularly helpful, I find, is to search just across the table of contents. This is just searching the table of content titles for whatever you're looking for. So specifically when you're looking for something like a crime, it's a little more broad, you could type in burglary, and just search within the table of contents titles of this criminal defense techniques manual. And then it will pull back just specifically those sections. And so I mentioned it's a defense technique, so you're going to see these defenses, but then it's also going to give you the elements, and it lays it out in a very clear-cut manner. Another secondary source that I wanted to point out is courtroom criminal evidence. So this is talking about criminal evidence issues. So courtroom criminal evidence. You can select the index and drill down that way if you'd like. And then when you're in here, you do the same thing. You can drill down, you can search the table of contents, or you can search across the whole thing if you wanted to say search for hearsay, or I don't need quotes there, sorry, hearsay or something like that. You could search across this whole treatise for the evidentiary rules on hearsay. If this is something that you're doing on a frequent basis, you know, you're in criminal court, you're doing these different arguments, you may want to add this as a favorite. So you click on the star right here, it adds it as a favorite, so you don't have to remember the name of it each time. And then it will just automatically show up back on the Lexis Plus homepage. You click on that and it's going to open up all of your favorites. So there we have courtroom criminal evidence there. Last thing I wanted to show you was the criminal law practice page. So from this main explore page, we go under practice area. We have criminal law and procedure. I love these practice pages for just orienting myself to all the materials available on this topic. So here we have all of the criminal cases, statutes can be particularly helpful, including the court rules. But I wanted to show you a case-related material. So here's another way to get into those briefs, pleadings, and motions. And then I really like the jury instructions because they just do a really great job of, again, laying out the elements of the crime very specifically. And so I also like these for something like bar review or something like that. You can go in by your jurisdiction and just drill down. And then once you're there, you can go ahead and you can, again, drill down, or you can go ahead and you can search across. And you pull up that burglary jury instruction and you've got it in front of you. But what you also have are the key elements, everything that needs to be met. So in this case, they entered with the intent to commit the theft or the other felony. And so there you have everything that needs to be met for the elements of burglary. And that is what I wanted to show you. So I hope you guys found that helpful and have a great rest of your day.